Hey guys, it's John from ARTV. It's time for a review of Kimbra's new album. It's titled The Golden Echo. It came out a little bit ahead of time. NPR is already streaming it, and after enjoying her record Vows but never getting around to reviewing it, I figured it was time to give this one a listen after really thoroughly enjoying one of the singles from this record called 90s Music. There was another one that I wasn't particularly fond of, but we'll get into that a little bit more. I'm shooting this one on the go. If you guys have been watching the videos for a long time, let me know in the comments if you know where I'm filming at, because let's just say it might look familiar if you go back and watch some old videos. Anyways, diving into this one, there's a few extra bells and whistles here on The Golden Echo that weren't necessarily there on Vows, but at its heart, it's more of just a soulful, jazzy at times record that fuses in electronics and a little bit of an 80s nostalgia feel in the latter half of this record, mixing synthesizers and some big electronics. It really just culminates a feel that will probably have listeners coming back for a while. I could see this having a pretty moderate to high replay factor. Here on The Golden Vow, there's some string arrangements that show up on a handful of these tracks. Like I said, a lot of them make good use of electronics and drum machines to kind of create this visceral musical environment that makes this record so accessible. A lot of people probably know Kimbra for her guest verse on the Gautier song, Somebody That I Used to Know, worldwide hit. But really, it didn't, jumpstart Kimbra's career too much. It did get her a deal in the US, I believe, with Warner Brothers Records, but still, she has seen success. Her album Vows debuted in the top 30 of the chart, and I think this new record, if the single gets a little bit more airplay, definitely could do something as well. 90s Music is the best song on this album, and that is that single I was talking about digging so much. I'm saying that because of its insanely different pacing and just the vocal delivery. This track changes up its groove multiple times throughout the track, especially during its chorus. It uses playful auto-tune effects, huge bouncing synthesizers, and this stirring clap drum effect that really just makes this one of my favorite songs of 2014 thus far. Carolina is the track that follows immediately after that one, and really just is kind of a 1-2 punch because those are two of my favorites back to back right there at the start of the record almost. It seems like the sample at the beginning of this song is from possibly one of Kimbra's childhood home videos before really breaking into Kimbra's powerful vocal performance. Is this track a tale of one of my home states? She's talking about the Carolinas and how much she misses them. I don't know if it's necessarily referring to one place. It's just whatever is home to her at the time is what she's missing on this track, being out on the road, daydreaming of going back there. I think this track is really aided by the spacey synthesizers that kind of float in and give a lot of texture to this track. The album is a bit front-loaded, sadly, featuring the gems that I already mentioned, in addition to the uber-catchy Goldmine and the nostalgia-filled Teen Heat. I think that the track Goldmine is probably growing into my close second favorite here on the record, just because of its catchiness. It gets stuck in my head throughout the day, and it's one of the tracks that I feel like so many people are going to keep coming back to. Once we get past the straight 80s feeling track Miracle, this album's tight grip that it had on me starts to slip, and the album takes the path of the nomad, kind of wandering into middle of the road territory. I can't say that I feel particularly strong about Love in High Places, Rescue Him, or even the single As You Are. The production really outweighs the lyrical message or even the droll vocal performances, especially on the single and Rescue Me. I already mentioned that 80s vibe, and I'm really sensing it quite strongly in the latter half of this record, with Madhouse being one of the only ones that manages to stand above the other tracks and really make a unique identity for itself. It's a little bit weird, a little bit out there, but it's definitely worth checking out just because of Kimbra's vocal performance and the production on that one. It really makes this one kind of a creative track that it feels quite playful at times, but still, it's not to the point where it's silly. The low point on the record is Everlovin Ya, which has a guest spot in the form of Bilal, someone I've never really heard of, and I can't say that it's made me want to check out anything else by him. The keyboard-led track just really isn't that off in terms of its instrumentation, but the vocals and lyrics really just feel painful to the ear here. I may be in the minority, but I don't really care for the breathy vocal approach here on this one. It's very layered, very processed, and I'm hearing a lot of other artists doing this. I think back to the recent Yeah Yeah Yeah's record, or even the parts of the most recent Naked and Famous record that I didn't like, and that's all put into Everlovin Ya, and it makes up for a track that I just definitely plan on skipping from here on out. The album does, however, manage to seal things up on a rather solid note with the jazzy closer, Waltz Me to the Grave. There's an airy, no pun intended, feel here that really just opens things up and lets the listener just sit back and enjoy this track. There's a bass groove that is undeniably solid here on this one, just playing so well. It's very soothing in the back of this track, really. And there's that light guitar, the keyboard parts, everything just fits together. And just for its 7-minute stay, it's totally welcome. It's something that I feel like a lot of new and definitely longtime Kimbra fans are really going to appreciate. Overall, for me, I'm sensing that this record is going to be something that I'm going to be revisiting. I think that there's a few singles that might end up on my top 50 songs of the year list. We'll see. Everything's approaching rapidly. It was August, only a few months left of the year, but I'm anticipating a lot of other good releases. It's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. So have you guys heard the record yet? Have you not? If you want, you can stream it for free down below. There's a link to check it out on NPR down in the description, along with my Facebook, Twitter, everything else is down there. If you want, you can click right here to see my most recent review, or you can click here to go to my second channel. I do track reviews, music news, even a few movie reviews from time to time there on that channel. Hit the like button on this video, show the love for the channel. I will see you guys very soon. There's definitely a lot of albums starting to come out in like the end of August. September, of course, is always a big month for releases, so keep checking back to the channel for more reviews. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you very soon right here on ARTV Beyond the Reviews.